Okay, so here's a lower body session I did earlier today. Squat emphasis. And wasn't quite as stellar as I was hoping. I was really hoping to hit something along the lines of a 385 squat today. Only made it to 350. Sometimes that happens, and I think when you don't have the kind of days you want to have, you have to remember that as long as you're working hard, you're still getting a training stimulus. So it's easy to um, uh, lose sight of the difference between training and testing. So you can't help but want to test yourself, especially when you're getting close to a big powerlifting meet. But really, what matters is that you're training hard. And so remember that when you're having less than your best day, that if you're working hard, regardless of what the weight was, you are getting a training stimulus, and that's what you really need to be doing. So this is my standard warm up for back squats, low bar position, and I was actually feeling good at this stage of the workout. I was feeling pretty loose and feeling like my squats were deep. 2 weeks ago, I hit a 365, very, very solid. So that was what was leading me to think maybe I could get something bigger today. But for whatever reason, now who knows? Maybe maybe I would have made it had I tried. But if you see the 350, it was kind of a grind. But nonetheless, I have been able to low bar squat with a straight bar twice a month with no shoulder issues at all, and I could probably do it every week, but I do like the variety of rotating different types of squats. So every other Monday I use a cambered bar, and then I alternate that with straight bar squats, which is what I'm doing today. On Thursdays I either high bar squat or front squat. So I do squat 4 times a week, and ideally I like 4 successive squats to be different from each other if possible. Just gives you a little bit of a psychological break, and I think variety is always a good thing within whatever constraining factors you're working with. Leaning a little bit more than usual today. That was kind of on purpose. Felt good. Felt good at this stage anyway. Squats were followed up with heavy back extensions and heavy leg extensions. It wasn't a huge workout. It was 15 total sets. I was my own camera person today, as you can kind of see. My body weight was up a few pounds today, and you always think that if you're a little heavier that you'll do better on something like squats, but historically I never do. I've had some of my best deadlift and squat sessions weighing under 200 pounds, a little bit over today. So who knows? I think maybe when your body weight's up a little, it sets up higher expectations, and then the reality sometimes doesn't meet those expectations. I think I did a double here with 225. All this stuff was feeling pretty good. One thing that happened, I'll say it now in case I run out of time later, is after I took my last, well, not my last, but after I took 315, somehow I got it in my head that I'd be better off with a wider stance. And I widened my stance out for 350 thinking it would help, and I think it actually hurt. It's hard to say. I might have just had a bad day anyway, but I don't think it actually helped me. So even at this stage of the game, I'm still tinkering with things like stance width. I was training alone today, and I really make it a point to try to be as intense as I can when I train alone, but inevitably I always do better when I've got more people in the gym and just kind of a better atmosphere. So here was the 315. And this did not feel as good as I really wanted it to. And it was okay, but I'm really looking for 315 to feel a little better than it felt here. Not horrible now that I look at it, though. After I took this, I was really kind of debating what to do. So I just kind of said, you know, I'm going to throw 350 on the bar and just take it one step at a time. And if it feels decent, I'll try for more, and if it doesn't, I'll stop there. Actually, I did take a back-off set with 315 for a double after the 350 here. But when I compare this to the 365 I did 2 weeks ago, the 365 was better. But let me look at this here. That's the wide stance, and I don't know, it was all right. Maybe I would have had 370, but I guess I was a little intimidated. A little let down after that. Was really intending to hit something bigger. But nonetheless, took a back off and got 2 reps at 315 here. I'm also saving myself just a bit because I have a really heavy deadlift workout coming out on Thursday. I've got to hit 4 triples with 425, so that's going to be tough. Depth was good on all of these, so that's a good thing. On back extensions, last week I rigged up this really heavy dumbbell. I've got a 160-pound dumbbell that you'll see in just a second. It's kind of below the camera frame there. And it's great, except the handle is kind of narrow and it's really hard to get my hands in there. You can kind of see, I think there's not much space, but actually lifting it is no big deal. But I have one hand right on top of the other. I can only get one hand in between the plates there. So that was the only thing that was a little bit tough with this. Other than that, though, not bad at all for 160. And I've got this leg extension thing loaded up about as far as I can make it go. I don't know if you can tell, the thing's almost tipping over on me. I have to be a little careful on these because if I were to really crank on this, it would tip me over forward. So I'm kind of living on the edge there just a little bit. So I did 3 sets of 8 on each, on both of these exercises. I'm 9 weeks away from the AAU World Championships in Las Vegas. Body weight's pretty good. Orthopedic health is pretty good. I think overall, even though this was a little bit of a down session, overall my preparation feels really thorough, and I feel good about how hard I've been working. So at this stage, as I get closer and closer to the meet, the big concern is staying healthy and not getting hurt, not getting sick, not having any unexpected, unforeseen incidents. I will have a video Thursday night as well of my deadlift session coming up, so that should be interesting. I didn't notice it when I was, you'll see actually on this set, I'm trying to use straps. I'm trying to see if I can get a better grip on this with straps, and I think it actually did help. But what I was about to say is that when I was doing these, I noticed that this unit is actually coming close to tipping too. So this is an example of one of those things I have to be careful about. I don't want this thing to tip over on me. Those were fairly easy though, other than holding on to it. So anyway, hope this is interesting for you. Please leave a comment or a question if you have any. And other than that, I should be back with you in a few days.